And because of this monetization, so many men, because of hard society, are not able to raise these funds in the manner which you are expecting. You see, one thing that pains me is that you have this high expectation which you can't afford for yourself. What makes you think that it's not easy for them to afford it? Why don't you ask yourself, why can't you afford this same thing? The reason why you can't afford it is why they're also struggling. It's why we are also struggling out there. And then you think you want to have this highest bidder. You want to wait for the one who finally made it. No problem. It's that waiting that leads you to 30 years, 40 years. And you know what? You don't stop having sex. That is why we are seeing all this pim, pim, pim. Because you can't cheat nature. You can't cheat nature. The menstruation, remember, have started. Right? And then it comes, you have the feeling and the urge. And then somehow you go around, find your way, and satisfy yourself sexually. So after doing this for how many years? For how many years? Let's count from 12 to 30 years. How many years of that did you have sex around without marriage? And then after, you think that your body of 12 years will be the same with your body of 30 years. Some of you, this is the actual reason why one or two complications happens during birth. Fine, you have taken in, and then time to give birth, one way or the other, it can't come out. You push, it can't come out. Common sense tells me that the strength you had in your 13 years is not the strength you have in your 30 years. A child of 13 years old girl can run very fast and won't feel it. But a lady of 30 years can't do that. She can't do that. In fact, because of her body, the fatness of her body, or the fats in her body, or the nature of her body which have erupted, can no longer allow her to do that same exercise the 13 years old girl did. This one is common sense telling me this. I think it also applies during your birth. And if you check very well back in those days, how many of these people, how many of these are mothers, how many of these are mothers gave birth through CS? How many of them gave birth through operation? Who are we doing now? Now, who is doing who? Who is cheating who? Now, some of you now do what? Risk your life to give birth, right? And then you now hear, you come back to hear some women say, we risk our life to give birth. Some of us die. Did you marry at the right age? Were you not waiting for money? Were you not looking for money? Okay, to our elders, was it the money that you raised so high that made some men are not able to meet up? And then these women have gone so old that they are not able to, do the same thing they would have been able to do easier when they were 13 years. And now you want to throw the blame back to, you risk your life for a man. You're not risking your life for anybody. You had already risked your life, or your life has already been risked 13 years, 15 years backward. That means you can't cheat nature. So do you see the ancestors are wiser? No, do you see they are wiser when they married younger and tender women? Do you see why we marry young? Or do you see the need to marry young? It can never be the same. But somehow, some white man rule has come to tell you to do what? 18 years, and after 18 years, we by ourselves introduce a new problem to ourselves by what? Monetizing ourselves. So not only the white man problem again, but it's now, our own joined together. And at the end of the day, some people die through this period. Some people can't give birth. Do you see? There are several fruits and trees by which we, take their herbs or leave their fruits during these periods. But some of these trees, I can bet you can't find them anymore. We are now going to hospital for antenatal, I think. Now you're going to antenatal, some of you still go for what? Operation. And then during that period, your life is now 50-50. And sometimes they lose their life. Most women go to check their stomach, it's cut. All cuts. So who is wiser? Who is wiser? You can't cheat nature. Nature already made it that way, that this is what you're supposed to do. At this age, you are ripe. That is nature saying it. You are ripe. Take a look at animals. Who is prescribing those age for them? Is there anyone prescribing the age for them? Now, do you see how everything flow? I mean, when it comes to this particular area, do you see how things flow? How many animals do you see them take for operation to give birth? You see a goat going somewhere and start giving birth. It cleans itself and goes. I used to hear words like give birth like Hebrew women. It's not just about give birth like Hebrew women. It's about the Hebrew women taking in when they are supposed to take in, especially at the young age. In fact, it's not just about that. In the olden days, which are the Hebrew women we are referring to, in the olden days, what happens? They marry early and they give birth early. So you want to give birth like the Hebrew women, but you don't want to do what the Hebrew women did. You don't want to practice what the Hebrew women practice. Even some are finding it difficult to take in. Many women today can't get pregnant. We rather see them going to churches to pray, oh, pray and pray. But because of what? There is this simple wisdom and nature that when you do things the right way, it will work. You don't need prayers, you don't need miracle. Nature, people can be different in nature. It may be that your own period for your eggs to fertilize is just from that 9, 10 years to maybe 20 years or 25 years. I don't know. But I know that it's never the same with all. The same way you see some people's menopause. Each person's with their own age of menopause. This person's own may start 45 years age. The other may start maybe 40. The other may start 42. The same way it varies in your menstruation periods. The same way it varies the age by which your menstruation starts. That same way the menopause also do what differs. Now who knows if some people's period of egg fertility, maybe it's not long, and that could lead to what their own infertility, and then you start struggling. But if you have taken in at least from the tender age, I'm sure you have more than 15 years. I think if you count from 12 to 30, you're having about 18 years. That 18 years can even be used to give birth all through. Like you will completely give birth all the children you want to give birth to. But you can see that instead of this happening like this, from the 30 you want to start giving birth. How can you think that it will give you the same result? How can it be the same result? And then you go to pray, you go to fast, you go to mountain, you go to this, you go to that. Sometimes I see it as a mockery when I hear ladies claiming that they want a husband. I see it as a mockery. You see, I see it as a mockery. Why? Because yes, I know that many men also, there are men who fool, yes. But this is not the attention of these ladies. The attention is the money. The attention is the money that you can't afford. That is what is keeping you. It is not you haven't found a man, because when we come to reality, when you ask the lady what kind of man you want, if you hear things like a tall man, at least he'll be working. Now, like at least he has money. Money. That is what they mean by working. So they have mentioned tallness. They mention money, and then you'll hear some people add handsome, saying flexy things. You won't hear good character. You won't hear it. Unlike when you come to men, you will hear a man saying just a good character. So that tells you that women are not looking for a good man. They are looking for money, physique, six pack, stupid things. Things that won't sustain the marriage. Things that doesn't really matter. Things that even if it matters should be what secondary or even third. That is what they bring to the first table. And you claim that you're looking for a man. You haven't gotten a man that will marry you. It's a lie. It's a lie. So when you calculate all this, you'll see that our forefathers are wise. They're wise. It is to avoid some of these things that already made them do what? Look forward, and they saw what is ahead. And so they avoided it. But you came back to come and bring them back. And today, how many ladies are unmarried? So many women are going to get old without husband, without a child self. Yes. It's not as if it's a must, but it's a nature. Remember, it's a nature. It's a nature. Whatever that have driven us to the point that we now think it's not compulsory to give birth, that is the madness. Yes. If not the white man's ideologies, if not the white man practice, you wouldn't really think that way. Yeah. Today, our streets are filled with old but single people. Old but single people. So who is wise? That is why I made the first statement. The first, should I call it, proverbs. So, our Igbo people say, Agbachoso Agoma. And I also said, the end justifies the means. Yeah. And I also told you that the gods are wise. Now, do you see it? You can't can't be wiser than them. They already know. They already see these things. And then they took the path they chose. But the path you are choosing right now, what is the effect? Can you see it? You are still alive and you're already seeing it. Yes. Another reason why I tell you that our ancestors are wise is this. There is a nature in woman, and that nature is in today's world we call it hypergamy. Always trying to, be at the top. In those days, our ancestors had 10 wives, 15 wives, 7 wives, some just different number, but maybe you may hardly see ones with one wife. Yeah. And as we all know, they lived in peace. You can always hear these stories of how their wives lived in harmony. They lived in peace. They all had sex with the man. But somehow, after the white man's visit, we thought it that our ancestors are foolish. And so we tried to change things. They clamored for one wife, one man, one woman, which is what the white man brought through Christianity. And while they pushed this Christianity and their culture, it infiltrated all over. And today, it seems like marrying more than one wife is a sin. And you can see today's women fighting with anger and rage against what's polygamy. And when you see them fight this way, you will think that when they are the only one at home or in a home, then there will be peace. As if there was war before. Well, even them, only them at that home, there is no peace. In fact, men die more today as a result of women's what? Rage. Men don't even experience peace anymore in their homes. You can see, back in those days, I can see that when a woman begins to, chatterbox and utter several words, in fact, they don't do it because you know that there is a replacement for you. You know that there are several other women and you see them comport themselves. It's not as if anybody hurt you. It's not as if anybody maltreated you because they are treating everybody equal. The first wife, the second wife, the third wife, and they all know their turns and maybe their days for sex. And everybody comport. But ever since we started practicing one man, one wife, one man, one woman, what is happening? More rage and more anger. In fact, when a woman wakes up and realizes that she is the only one in this home, the owner, controlling this home, having this man who has this money, or who is this rich, or who is this famous, all by herself, she doesn't rather, be happy and give peace. She rather brings war.
Peace at times feels like lifelessness to a woman. Women don't like peace. And this is why you have to be her peace and her headache. A woman will start a fight just to feel alive. A woman will start drama just to be high. Peace feels like lifelessness to a woman. And this is why a woman will do anything. She wants to push you, she wants you to react. It's because she feels lifeless anytime there is peace. She feels like the relationship is boring anytime that there is peace.
You can hear them say, oh, if you give him peace, he will misbehave. Don't give him peace. They give themselves stupid advice when they gather. Don't give him peace. Don't show him love. Don't make him feel relaxed. He will start misbehaving. Everything that comes to your head is things that will, cause pain. And you claim it is what will make him feel okay. How come it is only negative things that you're thinking out? And then this person you are thinking all these negative things for is busy working to bring something home that will make you happy. And all he keeps thinking outside there is what will make my wife happy. And you at home, all you're thinking is, if I make him happy, he will misbehave. If I give him peace, he will misbehave. Therefore, I'll give him war. I'll make him, feel uncomfortable. He has to. Some people even go to the extent of manipulating, claiming that if you give the man peace, he will relax and he will not hustle again. Were you the one that hustled the one he got to marry you? You just have excuse and reason to do evil. Why don't that your brain, your sense tell you that if I give this man peace, he will do more? Why is your mindset telling you that means you are a criminal? Because if you are not a criminal, you won't think that way. And if you are not evil, you won't think that way. For someone who is thinking good for you, all you remember to do is to think opposite and claiming that that is what will make him good. Wow. That's extreme manipulation. And at the end of the day, the man has no peace. And today, we can see one man, one wife. Yes, he's going to be a parlor to what? To cool off his head. One woman. And you have gone to cool off your head. Was that how our grandfathers were going to be a parlor to cool off their head? Remember, they had 7 wives, 10 wives. They never went to be a parlor to cool off their head. Do you see the madness? No, do you see the madness? They never walked away and leave their house for their women because they are making noise. No. When he says keep quiet, everybody keeps quiet. But because you want to challenge him, because you found out that you are the only one.
A woman is scared of being alone. Solitude terrifies a woman.
You became Baza Queen. You became, how do I put it? He's the one. Agora no we says the one you guys eme he kwesiri ime. Agora no when you go lo, you guys eme he kwesiri ime. Who told you that when the home was given? Today, our men now beg for peace. Huh? In our practice for one man, one wife, you can see the woman stab the man for sex just because they quarreled. At any slightest thing, what she thinks about is what? To stab the man for sex. Do you see? Our ancestors are wise because that's a woman's nature. When a woman sees herself in position, her reaction is not the same as a man. It often goes into chaos. Let me give you an example of what is happening today. Several men who have picked their wife or taken their wife abroad, especially in a country like UK. The wife whom you took from Africa up to Europe so that you can continue your life there. You have been there, remember. You were fine. And then you've got settled. And then what came to your mind as a man? You went to pick your wife and probably children, for most cases, wife. And that wife you took, when she arrives there, what she discovers is that women has upper hand here. And the wife which you took from Africa will now do what? Starts practicing what she has met. Before you know it, the man who brought her is being kicked out of his own home. His children taken away from him. This is a result of a woman who is in power. And we can hear it everywhere today. We can hear it everywhere. It's happening everywhere. We have several stories of them. If you don't know, I can give you some. Plenty of it. Somebody who thought it that it will be wise, it will be good if I and my wife, stay here. This enjoyment I am experiencing, let me go and bring my wife. And that wife will have the mind to kick away the husband without fear. Do you know why? Because she realized that in these people's law, I can do this. She realized that she has the power to do this. And then watch her. She started exhibiting it. But the man didn't kick you out when you were in Nigeria. He has the right, but he didn't do it. He can do it, but he didn't do it. He thought more better future for you and brought you up here. And when he brought you up, when you saw yourself in the same position as the man, this is not even your property. Yet, you could do this. What happens if it's your property? This is also the reason why when you hear that, you can hear several stories of women who begins to insult their husbands simply because they are bringing money for food. A food that she will also eat. And then that's your love of your life. The love of your life to eat a food from you. You have to insult him. You have to make him feel less of himself. And some of you were there to see. In fact, some of you, the misfortunes your husband is experiencing is you cooking for him during your menstruation. And then those misfortunes or whatever somehow, happen in such that he has got broken. And you are in position to feed him or to provide for the family. That period, the man saw hell. That is the position of a woman who is in power. Our ancestors are wise. They are wise to have many women. Yes. And do you know what? They say you can't eat your cake and have it. In this current generation, you have monetized yourself, and then at the same time, you want to have a man for yourself. Remember, you monetized yourselves, and then you want to have a man only for yourself. The man bought you with money. You don't remember. He used money to pay to redeem himself or redeem you. He redeemed you with money because you monetized yourself. And then he paid. And then when he paid, you think that he cannot, with the same money, go and bring another woman who also monetized herself or who is also looking for, a wealthy man like you have gotten. Remember, another woman is looking for a wealthy man since it's what you are looking for. Since it's your condition, then one person can marry 20 and marry 100. Since that is your condition, wealthy man, right? Because remember the calculation, 7,000 is outside without a man already by nature. And then you also monetize yourself. There will be struggle. So when the money comes, everybody rushes because it's money you want. So how can you eat your cake and have it? How can you monetize yourself and believe that another woman will not also be bought over and join you? Two sides of a coin. I once have experience while I was in the university. A certain lady made some attempts for us to, be in a relationship. I could see I'm not a child. I understood that. I understood the steps. And I'm not interested. And I can't say I am not interested when you didn't open your mouth to say a thing. And so, out of pride, you believe that I should see you as beautiful enough to approach you or to ask for friendship. And me, I didn't do that because I don't want that. And out of that, you believe that for me not to see you as beautiful as you think you are, then arriving in a position that is above me, what you thought about to do is what? To bring me down. I experienced it twice. Yeah. So I just see that as soon as this is a position that I have been in for at least 4 years before she arrived. But because of the nature of the work, she arrived at the top. And when she arrived at the top, the first thing she could do is to bring me down. But meanwhile, there are other men there who are also above her. But because of, at a particular point, she was given the power. And that power didn't last about a month. But this is what she could do with the power. These experiences makes me become afraid of what a woman could do with power. Because in a world we are in today, it looks like, yes, men are in power, in political powers. But do you see how women are being treated? First class citizens. Yes. And I'm afraid that the same woman will do so if she becomes in power. Because of what I already see. I could say that it is in their nature to misuse power when they are in position. It is in their nature. Maybe our ancestors saw that women can control power. Maybe because if you can bear me witness with all the examples given, you can see that each time the power is dropped in her hands, things are destroyed. Things are not built. Things are destroyed. When she sees she has the power to feed a man, insult is rendered on the man. When she sees herself in a position, she doesn't welcome everyone. She rather does what? Kicks. When she sees herself in abroad, that a man has brought her, she does what? She kicks the man out. There is a reason why our ancestors didn't keep only one of them. And maybe that's one of the reasons.
In today's world, make a mistake of worshipping a woman. If you ever, ordinary chiking, you chike her, praise her, praise her. The next morning, this person whom you have praised this way wouldn't rather see you as, someone who, praised her. She rather turn around to use you. She rather start seeing you as something to use. This is someone who praised you. In fact, if you praise her today, the next day, she won't praise you. She would rather want you to lick her feet. That's the next thing she wants you to do. This is what we see it. We see it. He's there. You rather see her wanting you to lick her feet.
In fact, one of the funniest one that I heard these days from these women is how to punish their husband at old age. How to punish their husband at old age. Probably their husband was harsh as a result of one attitude or the other. To them, they are enduring it. You see, one of the things I experienced in this life so badly is correcting a woman. I never knew it was a big hatred attraction. Correcting a woman. I recently stopped it. It's not too far I did. Because I never saw a change. Even the last person. Even if that one tries to manage to listen to you, anger, hatred is already piling up simply because you try to correct her. That means you don't want correction. And so you go into a man's house where you want to be the Lord over him. While you are a Lord over him, he will be feeding you. You want somebody to be feeding you, responsible over you, while you are the one to order him. You see, your desires are not natural. Your desires are instigated out of self-centeredness. Self-centeredness is never good. It's never healthy because it produces evil. Whatever it produces is evil because it's self-centered. All you want is what will benefit only you. If they give you option of what will benefit everyone, you say no. It is what will benefit only you. Self-centeredness, the ideology you'll be having will all end up catastrophic. You have lived probably for 20 years with a man or 30 years, and all you are thinking and watching is waiting is for him to get this old that maybe he can't handle things again. And that is when you think of punishing him. And when they check the reason why you want to punish him, there are maybe corrections given to her. She resisted it. And because she resisted it, she was punished one way or the other. And then she waits for old age. Do you see the foolishness? Correction. Now tell me, if there are 10 more women attached with you, will you think about that? No, tell me, will you think about that? You see, you don't have space to do that. But a power has been given to you. A power was handed over to you. You realize that you are now alone. You are not married with other people. Yet, you didn't choose peace. You choose to what? Think evil again. That's why I said earlier that even someone who do good to you, instead of reciprocating, what comes to your own mind becomes evil. So you see the list of all I have explained. You will notice one thing. Each time the power is dropped in her hand, what does she do with the power? It produces negativity. I'm not really wanting to dive into these aspects. I'm just telling you one of the reasons why our ancestors did what they did. And that is why I tell you, they are wise. They knew the future. They knew today. And they avoided it yesterday. But we came back and went and dragged the strange things, the strange culture from those people we saw that had broken marriages, that had shattered families, that had diseases. We went to borrow things from them and we thought we will have different results. All these examples exposes the nature of women when put in control. Same position men are in today, yet gives them preferential treatment. Like I said, also at 1 mile. The end justifies the means. Now you check then and now, which is better? Which is more beneficial? That's why I tell you that our ancestors are wise. They are wiser. So anything you heard, especially those general ones that you hear in our culture, know that there is a reason why it was instituted. If you have a contrary reason, then your reason should be able to solve that, or should be able to restrict that which they saw would have happened. But if your reason is not able to restrict that which they saw and try to prevent, then there is no need of applying your own. Besides, this is years of experience and years of spiritual activities which has been practiced and confirmed right. But we choose or we claim Oh, those things. Oh, those things. Look at how we are dying. You think we are just dying? Do you think we are just dying? Everything we are doing in this world, like 90% are controlled spiritually. They are affected spiritually. So that is why when anything is happening, go and check. It's like a revealing sheet. Until you go there and check and you didn't see it, you didn't see the cause spiritually, then you can know that it is not spiritual cause. And even if it's not spiritual cause, you will still find the solution spiritually because you will be informed and told this is what you have to do physically. But the physical cannot tell what the spirit should do. Do you see why you have problem? Our ancestors are wise and they remain wise. There is nothing you think you can invent and bring in which they don't already have a way they solved it. Oh, wait. You see, some of you, you can hear people say something like, okay, you want to go back to the olden days. Oh, yeah, drop the phone you are using. It sounds like a fool talking. It sounds like a fool talking. You know why? Because we call this technology. What is the function? What is it serving you? This phone is serving mostly communication. That is the major reason and major purpose of producing this communication. You can see that most activities you carry out with it is all about communication, even the videos, your selfie and whatever. It's all transmitting information. The social media information, everything is about information. That is the technology the white people gave to us. So let's pick that purpose which is information communication. Do you think our ancestors or our traditions never had ways of communication, which you call witches today? Do you know that there are leaves by which when you bring, combine somehow, do this and do that, and you see yourself travel to wherever you want to travel? Do you know there are ways we communicate without a phone? Do you know there are ways our ancestors communicated without phone? I know of a friend who told me that his own father who is a traditional practitioner, a traditional doctor, which we call native doctor. His father is a native doctor. He told me how his father could travel in a sea without a ship. Hasn't that purpose been achieved? The white man went to build a ship, right? But he has a way he did his own, even before the invention of the white man. And I'm telling you, those things are still possible today just because we abandoned them. He can see himself in a river floating and crossing a river to where he wants to go to. And maybe if I didn't say this, you can see some people say it's a superstition. But meanwhile, we have evidence. Today we have rainmakers. Some of them are still practicing this. But you know what? Any of this side I mentioned are categorized as evil. But the ship you sat on, which you don't know, how come as heavy as this thing is not sinking? You didn't call it heavy. You didn't wonder why it's not sinking. You didn't wonder why the plane, as heavy as it is hanging in the air, is not falling. But when we show you how our own is done, it's that evil. Are you not mad? Are you not crazy? The same thing, the same mission accomplished, but yet, because we didn't do it in a white man way, the white man told you that ours is evil. Do you even know the meaning of technology? Do you even know the origin of the word technology? Let's end it here.